After the horrific New Year's terror attack on Bourbon, many people expressed concerns about improving security measures to prevent future vehicle rammings, and not just along Bourbon Street. Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Sharice Gibson.
And I'm Katie Moore. Another historic and highly traveled spot is, of course, Jackson Square. And investigative reporter Mike Perlstein is joining us in the studio now with an exclusive story about some new security equipment that was placed out there and the concerns that followed.
Well, the concerns is right. And let me tell you, Katie and Sharice, just after President Biden visited the historic St. Louis Cathedral to a memorial for those 14 innocent victims of the New Year's terror attack, some new barricades suddenly appeared at all entrances to Jackson Square. But almost as soon as those barricades went up, so was the criticism about their effectiveness. From French Quarter Fest to Christmas caroling to visits by dignitaries, Jackson Square is probably the most important and historic block in the city. After the New Year's terror attack on Bourbon Street just blocks away, many people are also wondering about the vulnerability of the square.
Obviously, a repeat performance is something you have to think about.
Hughes Drum owns a shop on the historic square.
All of us down there are for maximum security all the time.
Rhonda Findley owns two nearby shops, one just off of Jackson Square.
I was really excited when I saw them, but then I thought, and I went and I can move them, and I'm 5 feet tall and I weigh 100 pounds.
Here where St. Anne Street meets Jackson Square is something that looks like a post or bollard, but clearly this is not stopping any vehicle from entering the square. Now we have a new barrier that was just put up a few days ago, but this also clearly is not going to stop a fast-moving vehicle. Now, presumably, at some point, this gets filled with sand or water, making this a little more of a barricade. The plastic barricades are still empty, and a few people have taken to social media to point out their lightweight ineffectiveness. Regulars say that vehicles mistakenly driving into the square is not uncommon.
But we have seen traffic go through here, generally trying to cut from Charters to Decatur.
In fact, last week, a driver almost barreled into us trying to enter the square from Decatur. Bob Sims, the longtime former head of the French Quarter Security District, said he always had concerns beyond Bourbon Street.
And all those vehicles are potentially a threat. You know, so I believe we need to think a little bit broader.
It's going to take some cohesive and collective unity to make that happen. And an empty bollard dumped isn't the answer.
Now, who placed those new barricades at Jackson Square remains a mystery. I reached out to both the city and the New Orleans Police Department and have yet to get an answer. Katie and Sharice.